Hey guys, combat sports are brutal. With all that punching, kicking, bone breaking, death, well, it can get pretty bad. But today we'll be seeing a slightly softer side, where fighters decide to hold back and not hit their opponents even though they have the opening. I mean, they really hold back after really dazing, punishing, or getting brutal submissions. But regardless, they held back and it's a nice moment of sportsmanship. Let's get started. But first, give this video a like and make sure to subscribe. Be a good sport. Come on. Vasily Lomachenko, to me, he is the best and most entertaining boxer right now. His movement is just mesmerizing, and he has the power to stop his opponents. When he faced off against ex-champion Richard Comey, he did what he always does and overwhelmed Comey.
Left hand comes in. Too tough for your own good sometimes. Uppercut lands.
In the 7th round, Lomachenko was putting a beating on Comey and managed to drop him with a brutal short inside left hook.
Dig into the bottom
My!
Comey was able to get up, and Loma started pleading to Comey's corner to throw in the towel because he really looked hurt.
He's pointing to his corner. He's pointing to Comey's corner.
But since they didn't, he went back to work and just started brutalizing the Ghanaian boxer, absolutely taking his legs away, and then again asking the corner to stop the fight.
Lomachenko gives it a look at the legs of Comey. He can barely stand up. Lomachenko's telling the corner.
Listen, Lomachenko wanted to save Comey from getting more unnecessary and constant damage, but the corner refused to help the fighter. Incredibly though, Comey actually made it to the end of the fight, and I truly believe that Lomachenko started holding back a little after this round, so he wouldn't hurt Comey anymore. Benn Davis is an MMA fighter with not such a great record of 6-5, and he was having his comeback fight after being out for 6 years back in 2017. He was fighting against Ruslan Malsam, and towards the end, he had total control of the fight and was on top of Ruslan, who was barely moving to avoid the big shots raining down.
Turn him over, yeah. Yeah, stay there, yeah.
This beating continued for 30 seconds, all while it was very clear that Ruslan was completely done. He was getting hit continuously and was barely defending himself. The fight should have been called, but nothing happened until Davis himself stopped and told the referee that he was done. Davis had to actually tell the referee that this poor guy was done, and he even got mad and pushed the referee as to teach him the basic lesson to protect the damn fighters. After losing for the second time to Jose Aldo, Chad Mendes was trying to make a comeback statement against the number 4 ranked fighter in Ricardo Lamas, and boy did he ever.
His leg kicks be quick enough that Chad can't get. He's trying to finish.
He was able to completely take apart Lamas in just the first round with his striking, and once he got him on the ground, he was on top of him the entire time with his wrestling, landing some brutal ground and pound, until he had to tell the referee to step in and stop the fight.
This fight's gonna end soon.
That's it.
Chad Money Mendes.
Lamas was completely defenseless for like 6 seconds before this moment, where he was getting hit cleanly and not doing anything to defend himself. Mendes decided that it wasn't necessary to keep hitting him, so he just kind of said, "Are you serious, ref? Can't you see that he's done?" Stellar sportsmanship. Thompson is one of the nicest fighters in MMA, and you can really see it if you watch his YouTube channel. Inside the ring though, he's a freaking beast, but his good side still shines, like when he fought against Jeff Neal.
That brings a sense of urgency and pressure, which actually has an adverse effect.
Here, he is able to hit Neal with a clean shot to Neal's eye, and immediately, Neal starts wiping it, instead of Thompson taking advantage that he might not be able to see, so he can land some of his amazing kicks. He stops and asks him if he's okay. He knows he didn't poke his eye, and it was a clean shot, but still, he wants to fight the guy fair and square. In one of the worst refereeing jobs of all time, you had De Jesus being forced to keep delivering crushing hits on a badly beaten Stevens, with fans yelling at the referee to stop the fight.
And they're going to stop the fight. Cody Stevens still defending himself.
It honestly looked like De Jesus didn't want to keep fighting Stevens, so he would just step back, hoping that the referee would stop the fight, or the corner would throw in the towel. But every time he was implored to go back in there and hit him again.
Seen this before. And the crowd now instead. Matt Truckerman.
How can you see a guy that is trying to get up but falls down because he is so hurt and you still refuse to stop the fight?
That is un monstruo.
This referee should not be allowed to work again. In this fight, in one championship, this guy delivered a brutal leg kick as his opponent was going for a high kick, tripping him up and giving himself a chance to knock him out. Incredibly, even though he was already in position to deliver the kick that would have given him the win, he held back his kick. It's incredibly hard to hold back when you're fully committed, and even more when you have a chance to win the fight. But I guess he didn't want to hit what he believed to be a downed opponent. But if you see the other angle of the kick, his kick would have been totally legal since the opponent's knees and hands are off the canvas. The face of relief from the other guy is just amazing. Another guy just says, "We're good. Let's get up and just keep going." Great self-control and sportsmanship. One of the craziest fights where many thought the fight was going to be over a ton of times because of the crazy hits that Matt Brown was landing over Pete Sell, and also because of terrible refereeing. Like here when the referee jumped in a little bit too early.
Man, look at go! Down is so!
The punch was pretty crazy, and Sell did fall like he might be out. But this angered Brown a bit because he then immediately allowed it to continue. Sell was really hurt, and Brown kept on delivering punishment, looking like the fight would be over with the ref looking like he might step in once again. But then, at the end, Brown said, "Come on," to the referee, like asking if he really needed to keep hitting this poor guy.
He's saying, "Come on," to the referee.
Brown is obviously pissed here. The referee made too many mistakes for his liking and forced him to keep hitting a beaten and defenseless man, something that most fighters don't want to do. At the end, Brown yelled at the referee and showed his respect for his opponent.
It's all over. Matt Brown was upset that that fight wasn't stopped earlier.
Terry Harper was the undefeated WBC and IBO champion in the super featherweight division and was fighting underdog Alicia Baumgartner.
Harper at the end of his contest, but she walks onto her right hand and she stands.
The underdog pulled out the perfect overhand counter and put Harper on extremely shaky legs. She then had the opportunity to deliver a devastating left hook that she was fully intending on delivering. But when she saw the ref coming in to take a look, she somehow managed to pull her punch. Yeah, okay, she might not have held back because she wanted to and cared for her opponent, but it's still incredibly hard to stop a full-powered punch, which still got by the ref and could have truly knocked her out. Conor Benn, before we found out that he likes taking banned substances, was on a tear, and he had some really good wins, especially the face-down knockout he had over Chris Algieri, who had only been knocked out once before.
It's been a phenomenal rise. Oh, good 1-2 and he's down!
Left-right combination, and it is all over in.
This was a brutal knockout with Algieri just freezing on the ropes for just a second, and the referee being pretty far away. Benn could have easily delivered a couple more shots that would have made him look terrible considering Algieri was clearly unconscious, but he held back. He had the punch fully cocked and loaded, but he decided that it wasn't worth it and just stepped back. Man, sometimes these referees really take their sweet time getting there to prevent further unnecessary damage, huh? This fight just took place recently, and it was the heavily anticipated rematch between the GOAT, Mighty Mouse Johnson, and Adriano Moraes. Moraes became the first fighter to be able to knock out Johnson in his long and legendary career in their first meeting.
Top position now for the champion. Throws a knee on the jaw. DJ's hurt. It's good night.
This loss by Mighty Mouse was truly shocking, especially the way he lost by getting knocked out. But this was just a fluke, as in the rematch, Johnson was able to get back the title by knocking out Moraes with a brutal knee that looked similar to the first knockout.
Oh, big right, DJ! He's stunned! Big knee! That's it!
Look, yes, Mighty Mouse had him really hurt with the first hand and then still delivered a brutal knee that put Moraes out. But if you notice, the referee was not stepping in, and Mighty Mouse could have delivered a ton more shots if he wanted to. But he knew that his opponent was out, so he just walked away. Even after walking away, the referee still waited to call the fight, even after clearly seeing the lump that was Moraes on the ground. Hey guys, let me know if you guys like these moments, or are you more of the psychotic ones, where you just want the fighters to continue wrecking the poor guys that are down? Thanks for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next one.